Okay, welcome to the Discord fangirls talk about how much they do things on the internet. I don't know how to start this. I'm KP, and this is not my channel, but hi people. But
and I'm DisneyFanatic2364, and yes, KP is on my channel.
I've taken over. It's the takeover. But basically, the big reason why I wanted to I pitched this idea to DF, and I kind of wanted to do it just to I think there's this connotation because we're on different sides of the spectrum as far as how we view Discord's character and just how we interpret him, that, there's and all the shipping stuff that goes on, and I just thought, hey, we're cool, we're adults, so I thought it'd be fun to talk about artistic influences and how we both got started and things like that to, I don't hate her, she doesn't hate me.
Yeah, unlike the people on the internet who pretty much assume that we loathe each other with a burning passion.
Yeah, but
we do not.
I need some fake fan art of that. I think that'd be funny. But anyway, so I just kind of thought of these things to talk about. This is kind of an informal kind of get to know each other, just talking about our artistic influences and how we got started, and I'm sure stuff that we've both done in Q&As before, but in an informal kind of just chill session of informalness. So I have some questions I'm going to be asking her. She has stuff that she wants to ask me, and yeah, so I think we have a lot more in common than people give us credit for. So that's why that was the point. Love and tolerate and shit. So first of all, Disney Fanatic, I was going to ask you what your favorite Disney movies are and what specifically just made you decide to have your username be that.
Well, my favorite Disney movies, right now the top one is Beauty and the Beast, if that wasn't obvious by what I make on my channel. And I also love The Little Mermaid, and I think recently Moana's kind of going into the top 10 right now, because that was amazing. I just saw it last month. Yeah, good on you, Disney. That was a good one.
Were you into Frozen when that came out?
You want me to be honest about that? I think it was a good movie, but everyone's saying that it is overrated. Well, hey, it's been 20 years since The Lion King, and people are still talking about that. So if you're saying Frozen's overrated, just saying.
Oh Lord, yeah. So I'm kind of in the same thing. I don't think I think Frozen was a good movie, but I don't think it deserved as much critical praise that it got. But I think
Let It Go was a really popular song for a reason.
Yeah. Maybe we should all just let it go. Doo-doo-boop. Okay. But yeah, so Beauty and the Beast you said, and which is a good one, and Little Mermaid is a good one too. That's two of my favorites. One of my things that I used to do, I don't know if you're probably similar, but I have a feeling we kind of grew up this kind of similar way where we both watch cartoons a lot and movies and things like that. And you can tell me if you had a similar experience, but when I was little, I used to watch both Beauty and the Beast and Little Mermaid so much that I broke the tapes on them because they had tapes back in the days, kids. Yeah, I don't know if you know what those are.
We had to get rid of all our VHS tapes. I was so sad.
I think ours in the attic somewhere. So my mom really wanted to transfer them to DVDs, but then when she contacted someone about it, she's like, well, that's illegal. I'm like, yeah, of course it's illegal, Mom. But, so regardless, back to what I was saying. So Little Mermaid and Beauty and the Beast both, but to the point where I would burn the VHS tapes because I watched them so much, and they'd have to get me new VHS tapes. So I have just them burned into my skull, I think. But I think the more I really think about my favorite movies and my favorite kind of influences are, I love Little Mermaid from I think Beauty and the Beast is a better movie plot-wise, but I think Little Mermaid is very, very much aesthetically pleasing, and it I like it a lot better aesthetically as far as the mermaid thing and Ariel's colors and specific in her design, and I love it, and I'm actually wearing Ariel pajama pants right now, so.
Oh, that is so weird. My grandma gave me an Ariel nightgown for Christmas.
My brother gave me, I actually have, I don't know if you've ever felt the fabric, but it's a fuzzy kind of blankety fabric. I have two Ariel pajama pants things now because I got one for Christmas and one was an old or older. So, I'm decked out in Ariel stuff, and I just got an Ariel sweatshirt, and I'm an adult, I promise. But but okay, and so specifically, what decided you to make your username that? I just assumed that Disney's kind of always been a thing with you, and you didn't really think about it, kind of like I did with mine.
Yeah, and also the fanatic part, it actually came from this guy that I used to have a crush on. I crushed on him because he loved Disney, and he called himself a Disney fanatic, and, I kind of adopted that title.
That's cute. Okay, and then the what about the 2, 3, 4 thing? Is that just numbers you like?
This sounds weird, but 23 and 64 are 2 of my lucky numbers.
Ah, okay. Cool. I was curious about that. I was like, don't give out your social security. Please, there's people on the internet that could use it.
No. No, because, when learning the times tables, 8 times 8, 64 was always my... I always liked even numbers, and I liked how 8 times 8 made 64, which is, 2 even numbers put together, and I guess I just love that number so much. And 23... I don't exactly remember how 23 became a lucky number. I think it was my number on the softball team, and I could kind of stuck with it, maybe.
Do you still play softball?
No. I only played for 2 years, and that was in high school when the team wasn't as competitive. In college, sports just become so career-driven. I just want to have fun. I don't want it to constantly be a competition. Everyone's always so concerned about winning or college scholarships. What is with America and sports? I'm sorry.
I'm going to preach about the show that I love. It's called Adams Ruins Everything. I don't know if you've seen it, but it just talks about and destroys everything that people hold dear. So there's a football episode about how football is going to, destroy kids' brain cells and things like that, and it's
You're
fantastic.
You're talking about American football, right? Just clarifying.
American football, not soccer. So
I grew up overseas, so I have to always make sure.
Okay,
I have to always make sure.
Okay, yeah. So American football, but regardless, was your dad in the army or something like that?
No, he's a diplomat.
Ah, okay. Well, that's fancier, so that's cool. That's cool. My parents are, my mom's a therapist and my dad's an engineer, so I don't know how I became artsy, but I did, so whatever, I guess. Let's see, what else is on my fancy notepad? And college education and stuff like that, so I got that you graduated from high school. I was curious what you were majoring in with college words.
Well, I'm a senior in high school, college. I'm a senior in college now. You said high school and I got mixed up. Yeah, I'm in college now, and so I'm going to be going in my last semester. I'm a major in creative writing, or as my English professors would say, English major with an emphasis in creative writing. It's minors in theater and religious studies.
Well, what makes religious studies interesting for you, out of curiosity?
Well, I originally wasn't going to do it. I was originally just going to do English and theater, but see, we have to take certain classes for general education requirements, and I took one class on religions of Asia, and usually when I finish a gen ed, I'm like, oh, thank goodness it's done, and I don't have to take it ever again. But when I was done with this, I was like, but there's so much I want to know, because... The thing with various types of religion, they're full of stories that are just so powerful that they've been believed by people for centuries, and it doesn't matter whether I believe in it or not. It's all so beautiful,
right?
I just love learning about different religions. I especially found Buddhism very interesting with the life story of the Buddha and all that.
That makes sense.
Yeah. And also, in this day and age, it's important to know about different cultures, so that you're not a jerk to everybody.
Hint, hint, wink, wink. But, anyway, so, yeah, that makes sense. I just did I just kind of scripted the end of a Kim Possible review that will come out, eventually. But one of my talking points at the very end is I talk about why I decided to do a Kim Possible review now after I had the channel for like 3 years and never really talked about Kim Possible, and I got more into the fact of how, like, that's why I love art so much, and that's why I like to learn and explore different shows. And like, I've been watching, I just started not watching, but I've been taking a break from watching the original Star Trek, but I just got back into it. It's a little slow pacing wise, so it's kind of hard for me to watch it, but I've watched all the Next Generation like maybe a year ago. It took forever because, in case anyone doesn't know, Star Trek episodes are about 45 minutes long without commercials, so they take a while to get through, and there are 8 seasons of the Next Generation, so yeah, that was fun. But I like to see how fandom and just media and art in general kind of inspire each other, and I do think, like, and religion is also a really good comparison, even though people obviously believe religion is true and actually happened and art isn't. And art is fiction and stuff like that. But it's just surprising and kind of scary and amazing how much stories just inspire people in general to be better people. And I don't know, I think it's like, storytelling is like hands down one of the most powerful things someone can do, despite it not being real or not. It's really cool, and I think that's why I do what I do, and I'm sure that's why you do what you do, and it's great. I love good stories. So
yeah, Star Trek. I pretty much grew up in a Trekkie household, so like I'm not a diehard Star Trek fan, but I know enough.
Yeah, that's how I kind of feel too. I know enough to get by. Everyone assumes because I'm a John Delancey fan that I watched Star Trek first, and that's not true. I got into John because of the Discord stuff first, and then I kind of backtracked from there. So again, even when I interviewed him, I still didn't watch any of the Next Generation except the Q episodes that we had to research for the Q versus Discord special that happened like 5 years ago. But yeah, my dad is kind of a Trekkie. He's kind of chill right now, but he's like super into Spock. He loves Spock, and I think he's somewhat proud of me for actually watching it without him asking me to. So, and he really wants to go to that. There's a big Star Trek convention in Las Vegas every year, and he really wants to go to that one of these days when we get around to it. So now that I kind of understand more, I think it'd be an interesting experience because I've only been to Brony conventions just to kind of see how different it is, and just because everyone's kind of takes it more seriously, not more seriously, but it's a more serious show that isn't about pony characters. So I was just interested in seeing the pros and cons about the convention scene. I know they don't sing songs definitely at Star Trek conventions, but you know, can you imagine?
Oh my! Maybe if they just broke into a song like da na 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 na. No, they don't have any like songs with words.
Well, that's why one of the guys brings like his keyboard that he can wear, and just every time he's at a panel, he just starts playing the theme song. Really? I don't know. I just remember at one of the pony conventions, there was this guy with a saxophone wandering around, and he would just play things like Happy Birthday. It was someone's birthday, and it was great. And I think my dog's barking in the background, so if you guys hear him, then I'll tell him to shut up. But just, can you guys hear him? No? Yes,
kind of.
Okay, I'll go get him. Intermission. I'll be right back. Sorry. So he'll calm down in a second. Sorry about that. He's a puppy, so I kind of can't control him too much. But I was going to mention, my family is very much into Star Trek, to the point, not Star Trek, Star Wars. Yeah. So my brother's really into Star Wars instead of Star Trek, and he refuses to admit he's a nerd. Words. And we have 2 dogs. One is named Harry, and the other one is named Chewbacca, which is the puppy that has been barking. So
Chewbacca.
And he's brown and everything. He's a brown poodle. So I think it's funny. He's like, I'm not a Star Wars nerd. I'm like, you named your dog Chewbacca. He's like, shut up. So, but anywho, I guess we could move on from that. So, I was going to ask you specifically about how you started with your, I called it a play in my notes, and you're like, what's a play? And I'm like, you mean like the radio thing that you're doing? Like, oh, you mean the audio drama? I'm like, that thing.
I wasn't sure if you meant like play what I do in my spare time or the audio play. Yeah.
Do you act in your spare time?
Well, like I did do a little bit. Like in school, I liked participating in the theater productions. Favorite role I ever did was the voice of the Manning Plant Audrey 2 in Little Shop of Horrors. I know it's originally written for a guy to sing it, but honestly, when I looked over the cast, it was the only part I was interested in. So, told my director, "Hey, I want to audition for Audrey too." Oh well, I thought we would probably get a deep male voice. No, let me show you how I can do it with a female voice. Like, I just made it all seductive and sultry, which is totally contradictory to my character in real life. But yeah, and she gave me the role. Like, also kind of helped that we have very few male actors auditioning.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess that makes sense. How did they do the puppet for the plant thing? So, did you eat people, or how did that work?
Well, I wasn't controlling the puppet. I was just the voice. Like, I sat with the band and I had a microphone.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, the puppet, well, there was the little one that was on the table, and the puppeteer would stick his hand through it and, move it like a hand puppet. And then there was a slightly bigger one, which Seymour carried. Like, he had a fake arm, which was holding the pot, and his real arm was actually controlling the puppet.
Right.
And then Audrey 2.3 and 2.4 were controlled by a 10th grade girl. I had to work with her privately so she would know what I was saying, so she'd be able to move the mouth. It would take her whole body to move the mouth.
I believe that. As far as, when it actually ate people, though, was there, a trapdoor under it, or, how did that work?
Well, there was, this, when the mouth opened, there was this pink fabric that would kind of serve as the inside of the mouth, and they just kind of slip under it. Like, the audience wouldn't see it move, but they just go under it and out the back.
Right. Okay, that makes sense. That's no fun. I wanted, I'm just imagining this ball pit that everyone falls into secretly, But, yeah, okay. I was just curious. What other plays have you been in, out of curiosity?
Well, there was Hairspray in 11th grade. I was Prudy Pinkleton, that's the crazy, overly religious mom who goes, "Devil child." Yeah, I had to, quote unquote, tie my daughter to the bed. I wasn't really tying her. I was just taking the ropes and over her, and the end of the rope would be facing upstage, and it just looked like I was tying her. But the thing was, apparently I did it so well that these kids who I was originally going to babysit didn't want me to babysit after seeing me in that play. I'm like, no, I was just playing a role. I don't really tie people to beds.
There's so many innuendo jokes I could make, but I was just gonna say, do you blame them? Because
what?
I was gonna say, do you blame them? Because your character was apparently so convincing that they got scared.
Yeah.
I guess that's a testament to acting chops and all that good stuff. I personally don't really like acting. I know that's ironic, but
yeah, I admit I'm not the best actress, like physically. At college, I didn't really get many roles other than, I was a knight in Once Upon a Mattress and in the chorus for Oedipus Rex, but that's pretty much it. I've been getting more into playwriting, which sort of what I'm doing for the bride and daughter Discord thing.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense. The pony thing has kind of taught me a lot about that and writing in general and project management, because there's always so many people to kind of look out, and kind of politics and boring. It's been fun. But yeah, I was just kind of curious because I consider my persona online is just an over-exaggerated version of myself. So I kind of, it's like with the Discord and Judd Delancey stuff, I just over-exaggerated. But everything else is pretty much how I am normally, if that makes any sense. I talk to myself a lot of the time, and I just kind of overanalyze just about everything. And yeah, so I was just kind of curious how that worked for you, being more into actually performing than I am. So, and I can't sing, but regardless. So I think my last note is, how did you go about starting your projects? Because I think from what I gathered with my research, you wrote a fan fiction, and then after that you just kind of asked people, from what I could tell.
Yeah, let's see. I was 18 when I wrote Bride of Discord, and in the same year, Daughter of Discord, actually. But I don't know, what I really wanted was for someone to make an animation, but I didn't think that was actually going to happen. So, like, closest thing I could think of after watching, like, the Doctor Who's and Assistant series, I kind of wanted to do my own audio drama using of Discord, and, well, I posted a video on YouTube, asked for auditions, and apparently I managed to get enough, and a couple of really good voice actors too. Like, I remember when I first got Mary Medley's audition for Fluttershy, I'm like, oh my gosh, are you sure you're not really Andrea Lippman? Or when I got
spoiler. Go ahead.
Yeah, or when I got Big Apple Pie, like, I actually had worked with Big Apple Pie on other things, and he's like, oh, can I audition for your thing? Like, can you do any of the voices? I mean, I know you're talented with this stuff, but can you do any of the voices? And then he shows me Discord, and he's just scaring me. I'm like, wow.
Yeah, it kind of happened similar with me, but I think my radio play days are over, frankly. I like kind of just doing my own thing, and but yeah, I was just kind of curious. Were you making PMVs before that, as far as the stuff that was already on your channel?
Oh yeah, like, I was making the PMVs actually before I was even writing the fan fiction for My Little Pony.
Okay. Yeah, that makes more sense.
It happened when it was around Valentine's Day and also around February break, and the entire household, like, got the flu. So, it's February break, so I was kind of be missing school anyway. But still, like, I didn't feel like doing homework because I was always so tired and I couldn't think very well. And, I watched a lot of PMVs on YouTube. Like, my favorite was Dagayemar. I'm sorry if I butchered your name, dude. His My Little Disney series, where he was doing songs from the Disney movies. Yeah, he was a great inspiration. And I had nothing to do in my bed, and I thought, hey, maybe I should try these PMVs. I still had the Broadway Hairspray soundtrack from when we did it in school, and, I'm listening to Good Morning Baltimore, I'm thinking of Pinkie Pie and her Smile song, and, well, I'm actually pretty good at figuring stuff out on my own, tech-wise. Like, okay, so find a video downloader, find a way to edit it, and there we go. And it started with that, and I thought, hey, maybe I'll do the rest of the musical. And then it went on to Little Shop of Horrors and just kept going and going.
It's just like once you start, you can't stop.
Yeah.
What do you use to edit, out of curiosity? I assume, from what I could tell, Vegas?
Believe it or not, I just use Windows Movie Maker.
Do you still use Windows Movie Maker?
Yes.
We can't be friends. We have to end the interview right now.
Hey, if it works, I'm not complaining.
That is true. We just had a conversation with Dr. Wolf about this the other day, and I'm doing a Dr. Wolf segment pretty soon. So, what happened is the artist rendered out all her art in PSDs, which is a Photoshop file, and they were all kind of buried in the PSDs. So Bennett was helping us, Bennett, one of my editors, was helping us sort through the PSDs, and he found it was just easier to edit just himself than exporting each image individually for Dr. Wolf to edit. So, because there was like 40 different expressions and things like that, and there's a pendulum in the background of the office that moves, which would be hard to layer. He uses iMovie, so it'd be hard to layer in iMovie. So, it is a lot easier for a better program, but it also, too, if whatever works. I just started learning. I just graduated this semester. I had like one extra art history class. I graduated with a film major and art minor, so fun stuff. So what I'm trying to do right now is learn all these programs so I can market myself the best for the job. I have a part-time job right now that I'm saving money with, but it's not, it's just not what I want to do forever. So I just started learning like Premiere, and I know how to animate frame by frame. I took a 2D animation class with like paper and pencil and stuff like that, so I know how to animate, but just really badly. So I'm learning like Toon Boom and just everything I can get my little fingers on, so I can market myself to get a job after all this is said and done. So yeah, my point being is Windows Movie Maker isn't too horrible as long as it gets what you need it to do. But anyway. I think that was all my talking points. Do you have anything you want to ask me, or just anything you want to talk about in general before we let the peoples go about their day or night or whatever time they're watching this video at.
There's something I want to clarify to all my viewers. Bride and Daughter of Discord, they're not animations, okay? Stop calling them animations.
Yeah, they're I want to say they're colored animatics from what that, that's
probably the best way to describe them, yeah.
Yeah, so in case people don't know how animation works for production-wise is they write the script and then they record the voices, and then before they animate it, they do kind of a moving comic where it's this very rough like sketches of the characters, and they edit it together to get the timing right and put it with the actors' dialogue, and they do that before the animation. So that's what an animatic is. It's kind of like a comic book that they edit together. So that's why I call some of the more motion graphics-y things animatics versus like straight up animation. I won't even call like the normal reviewing style animations. They're just kind of images to a face. So I don't really consider that animation. But yeah, those were all my things I wanted to talk about. One more thing before I give it to you. I know, as far as the shipping stuff in general, I'm just curious. I know we have to talk about this. It's the elephant in the room.
That was the elephant in the room I was talking about, yes.
So I was just kind of curious how you kind of feel about, like, how you came to the conclusion about the Discord Fluttershy ship, and then I could tell you, well, I don't know if you watch my videos, but I can tell you my point of view and just kind of compare and contrast, because we're adults and we don't have to have flame words about this.
Okay.
So,
okay.
Go ahead.
So, like, in the first 2 seasons of My Little Pony, there was no one I really shipped, aside from, like, the canon ships of Cadence, Shining Armor, and Matilda and Cranky, aside from them. And, questionably Cheerily and Big Mac. It was actually implied heavily in the show, but it's as close to canon as you can get there, but anyway.
But then we have the complicated things, like I know people ship Fluttershy and Big Mac, and then the whole Big Mac with Pinkie Pie's sister thing, and it's all confusing. I don't know.
Okay, don't get me started on that. Anyway, and then Keep Calm and Flutter On came out. Okay, admittedly that episode was a little rushed, but, like, the more I saw Fluttershy and Discord together, how, Fluttershy was actually letting Discord be himself, but also not taking it from him. Like, yes, you can spread your chaos as long as it's not hurting any pony. And then when I see them holding, her holding his paw at the very end, I'm like, oh my gosh, I ship it. I finally shipped something in the show.
All right, fair enough, because I think shipping, just in general, depends a lot about how we interpret the characters, and you can't really justify and argue how each person interprets characters, because then we go into, like, psychology and, like, how people interpret media and things like that. So that's why I kind of think the shipping stuff is kind of silly, because I'm just like, even though I have my opinions, like, it's just
from you.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I know, but yeah, you have to remember I play it up too, so now that the truth is out there. And I also realize, again, it's about interpretation. It's a lot about what people already have predispositions to like. And, that's why I just I have more fun with it than anything. And that's why in the, for people who don't know, I reviewed her Bride of Discord thing, audio drama, the whole thing in one review. And I kind of made a joke about being in a war, like a shipping war, but I actually had, like, it was actually a war zone shipping war, and we had the Fluttercord monster, which was like if you guys have seen Steven Universe, it's more like a fusion of Discord and Fluttershy than an actual, like, spawn of that. So I kind of played it up, but as far as how I really feel about shipping, it's just, like, to each his own. I don't really, like, I understand where why people ship and where they come from, and it's just about, to go deeper, it's how they kind of develop and see the world themselves. And, I have my sort of view about Discord, and other people have theirs, and that's fine. And if you don't have anything to say, I guess I can talk about my interpretation, and then, yeah.
Yeah, I'm just saying, because all the episodes that follow Keep Calm and Flutter On, they kind of convinced me more, because Fluttershy is, like, the first to defend Discord, and Discord's always excited to see Fluttershy, and need I bring out the season 6 finale?
Right, well, don't worry, I'm getting to the season 6 finale. Everyone's like, what are you going to say about that? Like, even when I was sick, people were like, did you hear Fluttercord is canon? I'm just like, We'll get to that later, guys. Just calm down, you know?
I'm curious about what you have
everything.
to say, too.
All right. Well, I'm not going to tell you right now.
All right.
So you'll have to wait. But my point being, I see, as far as how I view the Discord and Fluttershy dynamic, I see it as like a purely kind of platonic mother-son-ish kind of thing. Like, she's kind of there to protect him, and she's the one who kind of understands him the best, if that makes any sense. So implying that they have, like, a romance, I guess, like, in the back of my mind, even though it's not, it's a little, like, maybe a little incesty for, like, again, that's just how I interpret it. So it's not, I promise that's not how I really think it, but, you know, so that's just where my brain goes. So I love Discord and Fluttershy, the dynamic as friends, as adorable best friends forever that, you know, have sleepovers and just chill, because I think Discord has a lot of hidden baggage that you don't really see because it's a 21-minute show about ponies that, you know, you don't really get to dive into psychology that too much except for part of year 1 maybe. But that, and that's why I think he reacted to Fluttershy's friendship as strongly as he did, because, you know, he had a friend and blah blah blah. I feel like I've talked about this before, but it's around if you guys are really interested. But yeah, so that's why I don't really mind the whole, just in general, the whole Fluttershy Discord thing. I think they're adorable together, and I love that, you know, they have that kind of bond. But as far as shipping them, I just, like, my mind just kind of, like, retracts from that, because I'm just like, no, they're best friends forever. It's like, I feel like it kind of kills that, not kills, but it hurts that bond that they have for me personally. But again, like I said before, to each his own, and I understand people have their own interpretations and mindset as how they view media, and that's okay. I don't hate you if you ship Fluttercore.
Yeah, yeah. See, with me, like, every time I develop a crush on someone, I'm always friends with them first, so I kind of get that friends first and romance later. That's kind of how I often experience it. So that's kind of where my mind went after that.
Right, and again, that's about your predispositions about how you view things like love and romance and how they develop, and maybe that's where the Beauty and the Beast stuff comes into, because they were kind of friends before romance started developing, and, you know,
which is one of the reasons I love that movie. They don't fall in love at first sight. Like, thank you.
Okay, and one more thing I want to mention. I see this complaint being thrown around so often, but I was just wondering what your thoughts about it, the whole Discord being too old for Fluttershy thing.
Well, we can kind of assume that Fluttershy is an adult, despite Equestria Girls. There are so many plot holes that one makes it. I think Equestria Girls is just a universe all its own, so I do not think the main 6 are really 17 or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, if they're both legal consenting adults, it's okay.
That's fair enough. Yeah.
Yeah. Plus, we've got stuff like Doctor Who, and how old is the Doctor, and how many times has he been shipped with his companions, even Rose, who's, 19?
That's fair enough. I don't watch Doctor Who, but I know that's a thing, that one of our editors is British, and he tells me he makes Doctor Who jokes in the reviews sometimes. Like, that's the thing that people don't understand sometimes. Like, 90%, well, I'd say 80 or 90% of the jokes that are in the reviews are mine, except if I'm lazy and I'm just like, here's a script, I can't think of anything, you guys have fun. But there's also other jokes that the editors can sneak in because they have creative control, and sometimes it kind of flies over my head, and that's okay, as long as, you know, they enjoy adding them. So Doctor Who is one of those things that kind of flies over my head sometimes, and I know it's like a thing, and I know there's like that, what is it, a pen that he has, and there's the blue...
the screwdriver.
Yeah.
I'm in a Whovian household too, so even if I haven't watched the whole series, I know enough.
And I know the telephone booth is a thing, and the TARDIS, and
it's a police
thing.
box.
See, this is why I don't know anything. And then there's the thing that, like, the round thing, the Dalkey or whatever. So, I don't know. Did you know what is that?
Round thing? What?
The round thing. Let me see if I can find a picture of it real quick. But it's like it goes on wheels. It's really a doll.
Oh,
yes.
I'm like, round thing.
See, I am the best criminologist. It's like, I just need that thing with the thing, and it looks like a thing. I promise it looks like a thing. But what does that do?
Exterminates.
Okay.
Yeah. Pretty much obliterates you.
It doesn't look particularly scary, though.
It is when it obliterates you.
Okay, fair enough. The only other Doctor Who thing I know is I know the Weeping Angels and
yeah,
those
those scare even my brother, and few things scare him.
How old is your brother?
Oh, he's 18 now.
Oh, okay. He's not like 14. It's like, okay, yeah, but okay. Well, I think those were all my general talking points. Unless there's anything you wanted to discuss or bring up or anything like that.
Okay, don't hate me for asking this. What made you want to adapt Pregnant Shy into an? Because I've read that fanfic, unfortunately, but
did you read it before I made it?
Yes, long before you made it. I was looking for Fluttercord fanfiction, and then I found that. It was under Fluttershy and Discord. I'm like, what?
Oh, you dirty, dirty shipper. Anyway, so I talked about this in the radio play announcement video a little bit, but basically the story is I was going on a trip to New York with my art club at the time through my college, because I was in the art club. And I was going with this girl that I didn't really know that well, but to be honest, I didn't think we'd hit it off because it didn't seem like we had a lot in common. She's a little odd, but she was really into fan fiction because she likes kind of fan fiction-y stuff. So she knew that I kind of like had this kind of mindset about Fluttercord, so we thought it would be funny if we found a fan fiction that was about Fluttershy and Discord and just kind of had fun with it like that. So when you find something that's called Pregnant Shy, we just kind of went crazy. So what she did is she can do voices, so she would read before we went to bed every night, or like on the plane or whatever, she would read the chapters to me in her funny voices, and we just kind of had a blast doing it. And we had inside jokes like that scene where he gives her the ring, about like, oh, I guess I have to give you your ring because we're engaged now, or whatever it is. She found like the paper outing of a straw, and she twirled it up for me, and she's just like, come on, it's a ring from the, I have to propose to me. Rainbow Dash has a shotgun, so,
Yeah, boy.
So that was we just had so much fun with it that's why I decided to adapt it. And because I thought with the right mindset, anyone, that's why I said in the announcement video, just like have a beer, like do it with your friends, riff on it, because this is the kind of thing it is. So don't take it seriously, and you'll have fun with it.
Just have Applejack casually taking crack.
Right. So that was kind of the mindset I had with it.
Yeah, that was kind of where I stopped reading.
Yeah. We read the whole damn thing. But yeah, that's why we decided to do it, and then it just kind of turned into a much bigger project than we originally thought it would be, which is an understatement because we had this huge cast, and I didn't know how to manage people as well as I do now, and stuff, but that was basically why I decided to do it, and I think it turned out pretty well. And like I said in the mailbag video thing, I'm not ashamed of it. I just didn't think people would want to watch it if it was on the main channel because it's so different from what I usually release.
I did not watch it, sorry, but considering I'd read the fanfic first, I did not watch it.
The art's really good, so if you have that mindset about just having fun with it and just relaxing and, grab some friends and riff it with it, then you'll have a blast. But if you just try to watch it seriously by yourself, it's probably not going to be that fun. So, except maybe the Bohemian Rhapsody scene or something like that. But, but yeah, that was the reasoning why I decided to do it. And I think it took like 3 years to produce and everything, but despite all the ups and downs, I think it turned out still pretty well. And again, if you watch it in a non-serious, like, let's go riff it kind of way, I think people will still have fun with it. So, and a lot of the artwork is really, really good. So, guys, go watch it. It's cool. But, any other questions that you were always curious about?
You remember when we did the Family Feud thing, when they, that big question at the end, who is best pony?
Oh, God. To put that into context, what happened, there was a year at BronyCon, I think 2015, was it?
Yeah.
Okay, that was 2015 where, there was reviewers and, I think, actors, right? Fan VOs or something like that were asked to do a Family Feud style game, quote unquote, where we both kind of went up and answered questions for our team. So I was on the reviewer team, and I think you were too, right?
Yeah, you were terrified when you saw my name tag.
I was like, God. But
I did not bring her down or anything.
No, I didn't think you were sweet, so don't worry about it. But you know, with so many people and connotations, you never like, one of the things I've learned about like the icky drama I've been going through is people, there's a lot of miscommunication and a lot of misunderstanding, and you just kind of have to do your best to be like, no, that's not what happened. Like, I think that's the biggest thing about the shipping with me that people learn now that I explain, like, I don't care about shipping, it depends, but if you just watch my videos and you took my character as face value, you'd never really get that. That's not how I really think, if that makes sense.
Yeah, you said best pony was Rarity. Like, I'm guessing, is Rarity your favorite, or?
Rarity's my favorite of the ponies, yes.
Yeah. I'm sorry she wasn't up there.
Yeah, so for people who don't know, the last bonus round question is who is best pony, and I said Rarity, and Rarity wasn't even up on the board, so the whole crowd went berserk, and it was kind of actually really funny. But that's what she's referring to.
Hey, I said Celestia because we were running out of ponies. And I wanted to say Applejack, but considering how... I didn't think it would be up there because so few people, like... Apparently Applejack doesn't get a lot out of love, but apparently she was up there. I'm like, I should have just said it. I should have gone with my gut. No.
I'm surprised, like, I think Sunset Shimmer was up there and no one guessed her. And I'm just like, are you kidding? Like, we should have known better.
Because she's best human.
I guess, yeah, that's true. But, you know, I'm not really a fan of the other humans because they're just copies, frankly, to make money, so.
Hey, you didn't see this year's Family Feud. Like, it wasn't a contestant, but I went to the panel. Like, this year's Family Feud, the final question, he pretty much just threw the cards over his shoulder when he saw the final question. What is the best ship? Do you really want to know?
Was it Fluttercord?
Well, that was number 3.
It must have been, I don't know. I'm trying to let me give me a second to guess. Derpy and Doctor Who's?
It might have been, I think it was either that or Lyra. I think it was Derpy and the Doctor. I think Lyra Bond was also up there.
Okay, yeah, I'm not surprised.
And
because...
like Fluttershy and Rainbow Dash, and yeah.
Fluttershy and Rainbow Dash is kind of cute if we're talking about main 6 pairings. I do like Rarity and Applejack, even though
like
Jen Blake is just like, no Rarity and Applejack. I'm like, but it's kind of cute a little bit.
In the case of the main 6, I like to keep them as best friends. Like that's just my friend shipping. But like I do have some kind of, like, if I would ever ship Rainbow Dash with one of the main 6, it would be Pinkie Pie. Just because they're so cute when they're pranking together. And
that's fair enough.
Yeah, and Rarity and Applejack have a nice dynamic. I always love their episodes.
I think as far as my favorite horse, I think the more I thought about it, the more like Rarity is my favorite horse because she's just like the one, like as far as artistic passion and, you know, just being a business owner and entrepreneur, that's like all things that I am, I guess, and I just kind of relate to her desire to be inspired by things, and I'm just like, that's like me if I was a pony, but probably less fancy and not a unicorn, but still. So she's the closest to my personality of the main 6. Everyone always assumes it's like Rainbow Dash or like Fluttershy or something, but I'm just like, Pinkie maybe too, because I'm random in the style of the videos. I'm like, that's not how I see me. Like, I get that, but that's not how I really see me too. So yeah. Who's your favorite of the main 6?
Well, my favorite's Applejack. Like, it was kind of like, I can't really say love at first sight, but just favoritism at first sight. Just, she's the most level-headed of the main 6, and that's what I like about her, and she has some of the best lines, like, now who in Ponyville would steal my apples? For that matter, who would steal my leaves? just random stuff like that. Admittedly, I didn't like Rarity at first. She kind of grew on me in the 5th season, because she had some really good episodes. I didn't like her at first because she reminded me too much of my mom. Yeah, seriously. My mom sews, and she can be kind of picky about what I wear. Like, don't wear socks with sandals, darling. Like, Mommy, I'm a grown woman. Don't tell me what to wear.
My mom is kind of the same way. It's not as far as what to wear, but like, again, I like to accessorize and be girly and stuff like that. So again, Rarity, but like, she'll nitpick me about other things. Like always hated, like when I was a kid, like when I would wake up Saturday morning and my mom's like, but I have all these chores for you to do. And I'm like, but it's Saturday. I don't want to do them. It's like, but come on, just do them. And I'm like, no. So she's still kind of that way. Like, we just cleaned up the Christmas tree. And just for the record, I am Jewish, but we still celebrate Christmas secularly. But so we just cleaned up the Christmas tree. And she's just like, the first thing we do errands, and then she's like, okay, but when we go in the house, like, we have to clean up the Christmas tree. I'm like, Mom, let me eat my food first. And then she's like, fine, but after that, we gotta get the Christmas tree and bring it to the dump. And I'm just like, I just want to live my life, Mom. So
yeah, and my mom. Yeah, every time a holiday comes around, Mom wants to go all out on decorating. Another Rarity aspect. We are like Rarity and Applejack in these situations. Like, Mom, the house looks fine. The tree looks nice. Now we need to put up all the ornaments up. But we've got like over 2 boxes of ornaments. But for one tree.
Another vibe I'm getting too, and correct me if I'm wrong, you seem a little bit more, are you on the tomboyish kind of side of things too?
Yeah, that is a question. I used to call myself a semi-tomboy because I like Barbies, I like ponies, I kind of like to dress what people say is like a guy, but... yeah. That's fair enough. So I do like how deadpan Applejack can be at times, but yeah, I am kind of like Rarity. I'm just like, but art and drawing and stuff. I also draw and sketch too, and not that I'm that great at it. I just took a life drawing class. I'm just like, well, I'm a little less crappy now, but according to my dad. But I like draw a lot of females in my sketches and stuff like that, and I always prefer to draw females versus males and things like that. Oh, that's understandable. I mean,
yeah,
like I watched a featurette on Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs on why the prince has so little screen time, because it is a lot more difficult to draw a male human without making him look goofy.
Right. So, and then they didn't have, like, from my understanding, Disney didn't have a lot of, didn't think to have a lot of real life, references for Snow White than they did in other movies.
No, they were just starting out, so.
Yeah, for people who are unaware, later on in Disney's history, that what they would do is have reference actors come in, and they would kind of pose and do the scenes, and the animators would study that to get the actions to be realistic. So they did that in The Little Mermaid, and even as far back as, like, Sleeping Beauty and things like that, yeah, but I don't think they did it for Snow White.
I know they did for Alice in Wonderland, where they had, like, the voice actors be the live-action models, so... If you're wondering why Alice and Wendy look alike, it's because not just because they have the same voice actors, but they have the same model.
Do they have the same animator, too?
I imagine, because, you know, Peter Pan was, like, not long after Alice in Wonderland.
Right. Okay, that makes sense. That's something we have to Google later. But anyway, well, do you want to? I think that's it. Do you have anything else you want to talk about?
Yeah, not really.
Not really. Okay, so we can end here. So, thank you for having me on your channel. I hope that everyone kind of see. I don't know. I think it was fun just talking about because artistic influences and stuff like that. Because I love art and I love to understand why people love art too. And that was kind of the conversation I wanted to have, and I think that's kind of the conversation we got. So
yeah,
I'm happy with it.
Yeah, and we don't hate each other, okay? We don't hate each other, so stop putting us in a war in the comments. Like, oh no, KP's going to hate this so much. She's going to be so angry.
Oh God, and vice versa and stuff like that. But there's always especially like there's a lot of very younger kids that watch both of our stuff, which kind of concerns me a little bit because I curse a lot more than the average bear sometimes. So I'm just like, what are these children watching? You know, just because it says My Little Pony doesn't mean it's age appropriate. Gosh, but yeah, I can't
comment on your channel without starting a shipping war, even if I don't mention the shipping stuff.
I don't know. I feel like we should have people like make fake fan art or something like that. I don't know. I did once think maybe if we did a rap battle, just
a rap battle.
Oh God.
I don't know. Just
something like that. Yeah, that might be funny. Maybe later on, but I can't. Again, I'm not really much of a performer. I don't know if anyone knows this, but I had to, like, for the John Delancey song that I sung, I had to be coached for 4 hours to get it correct. And even then, it's still kind of like meh. So that's how good I am at singing. I'm just so good at it. But but anyway, thanks for having me, and I think we had a good conversation, and I guess I'll see you around, girl.
Yep, girl.
Girl, I don't know how to end this. I'm just like...
Oh, well, yeah. I always end it with DisneyFanatic2364 out.
What she said. Okay, bye, guys.